So welcome back again. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to play a video in our application. Now, this video could be something that you're storing in your raw directory of your application, or it could be something that's hosted somewhere online and you basically have the HTTP access to it. So either way, we're going to see how we play the video and how we assign a media controller to it. Let's go ahead into Android Studio. Here, I'm going to start a new application. I'm going to call it play a video app. And right in here, what I want to do is I actually want to go into my layout and I want to add myself a video view. So I'm going to go to activity underscore main XML. I don't want that text. What I do want is a video view. I'm going to drag in here and I'm going to say it matches the parent and also matches the parent. So it basically completely covers my screen. I'm going to infer all the constraints as well. Now that's all I have to do in here. I have my video view, and what I have to do now is I have to actually head back to my actual coding. So here in my activity, what I want to be doing is right on create, or maybe you want to add yourself a button. I'm going to go ahead and say video view dot set video path. And this path is basically going to ask you for where is the video that you are trying to show. And in this case, my video is actually somewhere online. I have the link to it. So I'm going to have to paste that link. Let me show you where my video actually is. So I'm going to head into Chrome. And here I'm going to go ahead and say GitHub public test videos. And then there's this repository that has a lot of videos in it. It doesn't matter where the videos are, it doesn't matter what the video is, as long as you have the link to it like this, which is basically HTTP, some link, and then you have the format of it. Basically what I'm trying to say is that these type of videos have to be the link to the actual video, unlike places such as YouTube, which is basically the link to the player of the video. So I have the link to the actual video in here. I'm going to copy this first one, for instance, and I'm going to head into my Android Studio and I'm going to say this is the link. Now, as you can imagine, right now we are accessing something from the internet, and if that's what we are doing, obviously we have to make sure that we have access to internet. We use the permission for the internet. So I'm going to come in here to my manifest. In the manifest, I'm going to go ahead and say right at the very beginning, the user's permission, and the permission that I want to use is internet. And of course, if we have this, we also have to get the request to have access to the permission. So here, I'm going to come in here, activity compat, and then request permissions, and the permissions this, and array of the only permission we want is manifest.permission.internet, and then I'm going to give it a request code such as 100. Again, I have to re-emphasize this isn't the right approach. You actually have to check for your permissions and you have to set a Boolean value, but for now we can just live with this. So now we're kind of ready to show our application and see the video in our video view. However, before that, there are a few things that I have to do. One of them is that because video files very similar to audio files, they're larger files, I have to wait for them to be prepared. So I'm going to say video view dot set on prepared listener. So now we wait for it to be prepared, and in that I'm going to say toast dot make text and just say that it is ready. That's all I want to do at this point. You could obviously give your user a little bit of a better notification, or you could actually set a Boolean value that allows you to, for instance, press the play button, for instance. And once your user knows that they are ready to play the video, I'm going to go ahead and say video view dot start. So begin the playback of the video. Now this code is actually gonna work, is actually gonna load my video, and then once it is ready to playback, it's gonna begin the playback. But there are gonna be a few things that they will not work properly, and I will show you what's happening with them. Let's go ahead and run the application and head into our Android emulator. And in here, once the video is ready and it loads up, you will notice that the video is actually being stretched because it's trying to cover the entirety of a screen based on the constraints that our layout has. So that's one thing that we definitely have to fix. The other thing that we have to fix is that there are currently no controls for this. So we actually want to attach a media controller to it as well. Let's go ahead and tackle one of these at a time. I'm going to head into Android Studio. I'm going to go to my activity main. So this video view here, we actually made the layout for it 0dp and 0dp, so very much dependent on the constraints. And because of that, it tries to match itself both on the width and the height. However, that's not what I want for the height of it. What I want is to be wrap content. So the height of it would always be whatever the content it has on the height, as then the width of it would be the full view. So let's go ahead and rerun the application. Now, when it loads up again, this time we should be able to see the video showing up in this correct format and correct size, which is exactly what we wanted. Now, the next problem was not having a controller. So in here, I'm going to go to my application and I'm going to add a media controller. So adding a media controller is actually rather simple. I'm going to say this is my media controller, which is of the type media controller, and then it needs a context. The context is here. Then you basically have to set two more things. One is where is the media controller going to be, and B, which video is using that media controller. So I'm going to say video view dot set media controller to be this media controller, of course. That's one part. The other one is where should the media controller anchor itself. So I'm going to say media controller dot set anchor view, and the anchor view for it is the video view. And that's pretty much all we have to do to be able to see a media controller that's going to control this video view. Let's run the application again, head into Android emulator, and now I think our video player is ready. So now we have that, and we also have these controls at the bottom that if I click in here, I can actually see it. I can scrub through the timeline, I can pause forward or backward. And that's pretty much all we had to do to create our video player.